and welcome to one of our BeeWell lives, another one. And welcome to a very rainy, and it is getting cold out there as well. Second day of fall, I guess, you know, rain. It's also International Rhino Day, which is really, really awesome. They're one of my favorite animals, so I've been celebrating all day for that. So welcome, and today I am going to show you how to make one of my favorite things. It's an easy go-to lunch that you can take to work, you can take to school with you, or you can just have on hand at home. When I was back in college and university a long time ago, one of my favorite meals was those cup of noodles or Mr. Noodles. They were cheap, they were easy to make, and hey, it's a staple of pretty much every university or college student out there. I'm going to teach you how to make the gluten-free version because I can't eat those anymore, so I have to do the gluten-free version. And you can do this as well with just regular noodles, so it doesn't have to be gluten-free, but for those of you out there that want those Mr. Noodles and you can't have them because of a gluten intolerance or allergy, this is the live for you. Alright, so what I started off with is a mason jar. You don't have to use a mason jar. You can use any airtight soup container that you would like, whether it's glass, which I would recommend. I wouldn't recommend using a plastic one. I'm using a mason jar because it's kind of cute and it fits really nicely into your lunch bag. You just have to be careful because it is glass. And I would go a little bit bigger. This one's a little bit smaller. You can always get the wider mason jars as well. And what I've done is I have taken some rice noodles, and they come in a nice little package. There's usually maybe about 5 or 6 nests of them in there. And what it is they're just noodles that are already put into like a little circle, and you're just going to put that in the mason jar. You may have to break it up a little bit, but that's okay as well. And there's many different kinds, and I think this package cost me like $1, which is really awesome because there's 6 of them in there, so I've got 6 things of soup that I can have over the next little while. So step 1 is noodles in the jar. Step 2 is you want some bouillon cubes, so you don't want to use actual broth, so the liquid broth, because what it's going to do is it's going to make those noodles really, really soggy. So these are gluten-free, vegan vegetable broth bouillons, and you're going to take it, and it's just a cube of seasoning. And what you want to do is you actually want to break it up before you put it in there, so it's almost like a powder. You don't want it into a solid square, just because it makes it easier for when you put the water in there, and it distributes a little bit as well. So there we go. So there's our seasoning in there. That was a vegetable one, so it's going to give you a nice vegetable taste. The next thing is vegetables. So you can use frozen, you can use raw vegetables. It is up to you and what you want to put in there. I've got some leftover spinach that I'm just going to stuff in there. And of course, when you do this, and you put it in the fridge overnight so the vegetables don't go bad on you. And then I've just got some leftover frozen vegetables from my dinner last night. So there's some carrots in there, there's some peas, there's some snap peas in there. And I think I said carrots, oh, corn, there's baby corn in there as well. So I'm gonna stuff that in the jar. And the last one, and this is optional for you, is if you wanna put some meat in there. So you want to cook your meat first, don't put it in there raw, so these are some pre-cooked these are turkey cubes, and I'm just going to put the turkey in there. You want it pre-cooked because you don't want that raw poultry. Alright, so that's in there. I'm going to stuff it in. You can put some salt and pepper in there to taste. You can put other spices in there as well. It's up to you what your preference is. And then the last step is, when you're ready for lunch, you just use some boiling water. So you can either pour water in there and microwave it, or a lot of our kitchens or our cafeterias do have kettles, so you can get some boiling water. I'm going to pour that in over top of that mess of vegetables. When you're ready, don't do this ahead of time, or that's going to be one big mushy cold mess. And then you're just going to put the top on. You're going to let it, you can actually swirl it around a little bit if you want. You're just going to let it sit for 5 minutes so those noodles will cook in that boiling water. And then it's ready to eat. You've got some soup. You can either drink it, you can use a straw, you can use a spoon or a fork, but there you go. A gluten-free alternative to the Mr. Noodles or the ramen noodles that you get for 25 cents at most of the grocery stores. So thank you so much for tuning in today. I hope you have a lovely day. Please stay dry and stay safe, and we will see you again soon. Take care.